Hello, it's Laura DiMeo with ACC RTF again, and we're talking about lighting today. What's the purpose of light? Well, the first main purpose of light is to get your camera to work. So we have the UX90, we're here in the studio, we have the house lights on. We should be able to just go ahead and shoot. That's what most people do at home. They just turn on the camera and they just go. But I've had my camera set at what the manufacturer tells me is the best f-stop and the best ISO or gain that would really give me the best quality as far as skin tone and as far as the pixels that would be recorded onto the sensor. So for this camera, it's f5.6 and we're at 0 dB. But as you can see, it's a little bit dark in here. We learned in camera class, when we went through camera, that we have a couple of universal things we can do to our camera for a video recording camera that we can change things. We're not going to be changing the shutter. We're not still photography. We are running sync sound, so we're going to have to stay with our synchronistic shutter speed. In this case, you should know what it is. I'm at 1080 30p, so you should know what that shutter speed should be. Okay, so I have f5.6 at 0 dB. First thing we might want to do, open up light, get more light onto the sensor. Let's go and change our iris. From 5.6, we're going to open it up to full open. Hey, that's not terrible. It worked pretty well. But that changed my depth of field. So if I had this 5.6 set for a specific depth of field that I wanted Mark to be in focus in, that would be very interesting. So I have it wide open. Let's go and check focus on this and just see how different it is. I'm going to zoom on in to Mark, and I'm going to check my focus right away.
Underneath.
Okay, I'm going to check my focus. I'm going to use my focus assist button and to do a little quick double check on that. In doubt, I can just do my press autos focus. There we go. I'm going to zoom back out and frame him back up. And that's the depth of field that I have right now at my iris wide open. As I said, it's not such a terrible shot, but if we went back to f5.6, I'm going to go to f3, 5.3 on this. I'm going to turn my focus assist off. And as we can see, it's still a little bit dark. What's the other thing we can do to add a little bit more light to the sensor? Well, instead of using our iris, we used to change the ISO or the gain on this. So I'm going to go over to my gain button, and I've activated it by rolling over to it. I'm going to press it, and I'm going to go from 0 dB, and I'm going to go up a couple of dBs. We're going to be changing f-stop values by going up to our dB. So I'm going to go up to about a 12. And there you go. It's a picture. It's a picture. That's how you universally change lighting on the camera. Let's go back down to our 0 dB. And we're still at f5.3. So this is my picture, but I want to make my camera look a little bit better. This is where lighting comes in. If I had the ability and I only had the budget to put on one light, I would just want to add enough light to make this camera work better. So that's called base light. I happen to have a light set up right next to me over here that I'm going to go and turn on, and it's just an open face 650 through a silk. So it's just going to give us a wide dispersion of light, and we're going to go ahead and we'll get over there and I'll turn it on. Be right there. So here I am. I have a budget for one light, so I'm going to add an overall base light. I'm going to do the first purpose of light is to add base light to make my camera work better. This is a 650 RE open face light, and it's going through a silk because I just want to disperse as much area as I can with even light distributed. So here's my switch. Ready, Mark? It's going to get a little bit bright, okay? All right, striking. Turn it on. Whoa. Let's go take a look at to see what that looks like right now. To my eyes, it's added a lot of light onto it. But at f5.3 at 0 dB, let's see what our camera thinks about it. Oh, that's a much better. There you go. You're lit. We're ready to go home. Okay, I'm done. So the first thing we learned about during our camera class is that one of the universal changes we'll make is the iris on the camera. We're going to pour more light into the sensor. So I'm here at the iris and I'm going to open up. That's when you widen out the area or the aperture with the iris tool to make more light go to your sensor. Hey, it's not terrible, but that changed the depth of field. So the area of that's in focus would have changed because my sensor is more open. There's more areas that could be in focus instead of a longer area that stays focused at a smaller aperture. Let's go back down to 5.3. I'm going to close my aperture right now. Back to 5.3 that we started at. And the other thing that we learned about was maybe we could change the sensitivity of light on the sensor by changing its ISO. We use the gain tool to do that. So I'm going to scroll over here with my scroll wheel. I could touch my LCD, but I happen to like not to jar my camera a lot. So I'm going to use the scroll wheel, and there's the gain button ready. I'm going to activate the scroll wheel. And there now you can tell my dB is ready to change. So I'm going to go up a little bit and add energy to the sensor to about 12 dB. There you go. Hey, it's a picture. We got a picture. So the lighting purpose did its first job. We're going to do something better than that.